Well, good evening. Just want to take a moment to thank everyone who took the time to call me or text me or even run me down the street to thank me for the video that I posted about the violence that happened in our community and that is ongoing in our community. And, you know, I'm sorry that I was a bit indignant, but I'm not sorry because we do have to get ourselves together and do a little bit better about, you know, being a little more proactive in our community with our young people. And I do want to say, um, I did not intend for my video to negate, give a pass, or in any way make light of the condition that we have with, police profiling and police brutality in our community. We know that's a problem. We know that. And a lot of attention is given to that. And the point I was trying to make was that, we need to be as furious when our own people take our children's lives or take our young people's lives. And because that's the point I was trying to make. Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter when our people are killed by police officers. Black Lives Matter when our people are killed by our own people. And so I do want to thank you for that. But what I'm getting ready to do now is I'm getting ready to go back to my health and wellness wisdom, because I had a few questions in the midst of people talking to me about the other video. People were asking me about some of the things they saw in some other videos. I guess people started looking at videos. And so anyway, I decided to revisit a few of the topics that I've covered in the past, but I'm going to make this first video about high blood pressure because I have so many people who are struggling with high blood pressure and trying to figure, or they're afraid of getting it, and they want to know what they can do on a natural side to, either prevent it or to help with what they're doing. They want to try to get off some meds and that kind of thing. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I'm going to make two other videos. They will be about cancer, and one will be about hair growth, because I had some questions about cancer. I had some questions about hair. I guess people have been watching my hair grow over the last year, and and I have some simple things that I do, so I'll be talking about that. But that's going to be two separate videos besides this one. So let's just jump right in. High blood pressure, and I'm sorry about taking so long to get into this, but I did want to acknowledge the community's response, and we thank God that Mama Dot is fine. She is home, and hopefully justice will be served in that matter, and prayerfully other young people will learn from this young man's mistake. So anyway, let's go back. High blood pressure. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in the country. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but I would venture to say, and I believe I could say it without fear of contradiction, that diet and lifestyle, well, that's part of your lifestyle, but diet, lack of exercise, and you have some genetic predisposition for cardiovascular disease, but most issues concerning our vascular system are related to how we live our lives, meaning what we eat, what we drink, if you're smoking, if you're exercising or not exercising, getting fresh air, getting enough rest. When I say lifestyle, that's what I'm talking about. So, that you're going to have to definitely make sure that you incorporate some movement, some exercise, that you certainly get enough rest. You need that REM sleep to reduce the cortisol in your system. Like when you get upset, cortisol levels go up in your bloodstream, and cortisol will cause your vessels to constrict. And if you don't get that cortisol out of your system, then your vessels stay constricted. And so that causes blood pressure to go up. But I'm going to talk to you. There are lots of reasons why people have high blood pressure. I'm going to talk about a few of them, and then we'll talk about what you can do about it. I'm going to tell you what Western medicine is doing about it, and then I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. But let's just get to the basics of it. When I talk about your vascular system, I'm talking about your heart, your arteries, your veins. Okay, and we're talking about this system of tubes that basically moves all the blood around in your body to service all of the parts of your body with food, for energy, water to break down the food so that it can be used for energy, and to cleanse the system, because you have to have water in your system for your system to be clean. You understand? And then, of course, your blood is a part of, well, the lymph in your blood is the part of the blood that actually takes waste away from different parts of the body, so that it can be taken to the proper processing centers in your system, be it liquid or solid waste. But what we have, and I'm gonna try to stick with my notes so I won't be all over the place with this. What we have with the current treatments for high blood pressure, or what we might call cardiovascular disease, is basically Western medicine says, okay, if you have high blood pressure, we're going to put you on a blood thinner, which is just what it says. It thins the blood out. It's like when you have ketchup and you put water in it, okay? That's what blood thinner does. It waters down your blood or thins it out so that it'll go through the vessel better and lower the blood pressure. Okay, then they put you on what's called a beta blocker. Beta is a chemical in your brain that sends a message to your heart to pump harder. That's called beta. And it's a chemical that's released from the brain via the nervous system. It sends a message to the heart to pump harder or to pump faster. It's like if something gets behind you or chasing you, beta is released from your brain to get your heart to pump harder so your muscles can fire, because you need blood and whatnot for your muscles to really react. So anyway, beta blocker, that's one of the things that they put you on, because one thing that the doctor is trying to do is he's trying to get your brain to stop telling the heart to pump harder. Does that make any sense to you? Let me give you an example. If you had a blockage, say, in your legs, and your toes were suffering for a lack of blood, your toes would send a message to the brain, hey, we need some blood down here, we're going to fall off. Okay, so that message is sent via the nerves to the brain. So then the brain, using beta, sends a message to the heart, hey, pump harder, the feet need some blood. Okay, it won't necessarily say that, but in brain talk, okay? So the heart starts to beat harder to try to push blood to the areas of the body that are demanding blood. And when your heart is beating harder and harder against a closed system or against a system that is clogged, it's just like crimping a water hose. You know what's going to happen if you turn water wide open and you crimp the water hose, okay? The pressure in that hose is going to build up. And that's what high blood pressure is. It is basically some part of your body is already indicated to your brain that you need blood somewhere, or more blood, or better blood supply. Your brain has sent a message to your heart to beat harder to get the blood where it needs to be. But in the process, your blood pressure goes up. You may feel dizzy. You may feel, you may actually start sweating, all kinds of stuff. But that's what's happening to you. And so you go to the doctor, and the doctor says, oh, you have high blood pressure. So we're going to put you on a blood thinner and a beta blocker. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm just trying to get through these things. Then we're going to talk about them. Statin drugs. Statin drugs are now being used, like Plavix and others, are being used to try and not just thin the blood, but to actually remove the plaque inside the artery. Because a lot of people, if you look at some people's arteries, where it should be a nice, clean, hose looking organ running through the body, it's not nice and clean. It's loaded with gunk called plaque and cholesterol. Okay? It's all packed up in there, and then the blood, which should be going through something that's like this, has to squeeze through something that looks more like that. Okay, if you can see that. And if this is what you need and this is what you have, you see how the blood pressure would go up. But statin drugs are supposed to be trying to open you back out to this. The problem with that is statin drugs, sometimes they will strip this stuff, and I'm going to tell you why it's even in there to start with, but it will strip it and sometimes cause holes to form in your vessels. Another thing about statin drugs is statin drugs will damage your liver over time. And so, but let's even talk about why you have plaque to start with. One of the main reasons, because a lot of people are like, well, I don't eat a lot of fatty foods. Why do I have high cholesterol? I said this in a previous video. If you are using table salt, if you're eating anything with table salt on it, your body's probably producing plaque or producing cholesterol in excess in your arteries. Because what happens is table salt, white table salt, I'm not talking about the pink Himalayan salt that I try to get everybody to use. I'm talking about this white Morton's table salt that's on every cotton picking restaurant table in America, except for the ones who now have sense enough to use sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. But that salt is recognized by your body as a poison. And what it does is when it goes through the system, it scalds the inside of your artery walls. It scars the inside of your heart. And what happens is your body, when you have an injury, your body sends cholesterol to fix it, to patch it, so to speak. So just imagine a person who's been using table salt all their lives. Like most of us, we didn't know anything. We didn't know any better. You know, we stake salt on stuff and keep it moving. Now, when we got old and a lot of people got high blood pressure or whatever, the doctor put them on a low salt or no salt diet. And I'm going to talk about why that's a problem. But all the damage had already been done. Okay? So, because the artery walls had been scalded with the salt, and of course the artery walls had been packed up too with that fat back swimming in butter beans and them hog maws and chitterlings and pork chop and bacon and all this other crazy lard and all this other stuff that we've used over the years in our food. All this stuff sticks in the arteries. And some people have pure fat stuck to the walls of their arteries. I mean, I'm an embalmer. I see people's arteries all the time. And I can't begin to tell you some of the stuff I've seen in people's arteries. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff in there. And some people, they have so much stuff, and it's been there so long, the arteries get as hard as this pencil or this pen. You know, it's just like you can almost snap it like a twig. Because, I mean, this is something that should be flexible like a rubber band, okay? And they get so hard. But the thing of it is, when you're using a statin and you're pulling this stuff away with the statin drug, what ends up happening is that some of that cholesterol that was there patching is no longer patching. That's why you see some people bleed out. They'll have bruises and this kind of thing when they're taking a statin drug, because statin drugs literally, you know, tear away at the inside of your vessels. And so that's one of the reasons that And my mother was on statin drug one time. I got her off of that mess because I said, Ma, I went to her house. She had bruise. I thought somebody hit her, but she had a bruise like on her neck and on her shoulder. And she said, no, that's that Plavix I was taking. I said, you're not taking that because if you're bleeding there, where else are you bleeding? You see what I'm saying? I want my mother to mess around and have an aneurysm. And you see how many people, if you've been keeping up, people dropping like crazy with aneurysms, right? But a lot of people are on statin drugs. And I'm not saying that's the only reason people have aneurysms, but that's a major, major contributor. Because one of the other contributors for aneurysms, people don't have enough minerals in their body, like copper and that kind of thing. But that's another story. I'm not going to get into that today. So anyway, so Western medicine says blood thinners, beta blockers, statin drugs. And then they tell you the no salt lie. No salt, low salt. Sisters and brothers, you need the right kind of salt in your body. I'm not going to tell you you need salt. I'm going to tell you you need the right kind of salt. Because the right kind of salt is going to be a natural salt that has more than just sodium and chloride in it. Okay? This table salt is a poison to your body. Pink Himalayan salt, sea salt, your body welcomes those salts because they are not denatured. They have not been adulterated with chemicals. They have not been bleached. They have not been heated to 1500 degrees like table salt. And so when you take in pink Himalayan salt or sea salt, your body sees it as a friend and takes the minerals out of that salt to go to various parts of your body to service your body, not to harm your body. And so when a doctor tells you get off salt, he's telling you something that could eventually cause you trouble and continue to exacerbate your blood pressure problem. Because when you have a lack of minerals in your blood gets thick. So if you don't have the right kind of salt, which is a high mineral natural salt like pink Himalayan salt or like sea salt, if you don't have a salt something that you're using every day, because we eat every day, and you know good and well you want your food seasoned. If you season your food with pink Himalayan salt or with sea salt, then you're not only just seasoning your food, you're also putting a nutrient in your body that is actually going to help your blood stay the consistency that it's supposed to and not thicken up. One of the reasons that people's blood gets thick is because people are acid and dehydrated. So that goes to another point. You have to make sure that you have alkaline water in your body, and you have to make sure that you have minerals to neutralize acid. Okay? But I don't want to get off track. Let me stick with it. The no salt lie is just that, a lie. You have to have salt in your body because you have to educate your doctor. Tell him about pink Himalayan salt. He might need some. He needs to know that your body requires at least 84 different minerals every day in order to function properly. And pink Himalayan salt has practically every single one of those minerals required by the human body. And so you can't continue just to turn your health, turn your wellness, turn your high blood pressure treatment over to someone else without thinking this thing through. That's why I'm making this video, because I want you to think it through. I know it's a lot of information, and I want you to just sit with me for a minute. I'm trying to give you the benefit of 30 plus years of studying and actually using products myself. I've never had a blood pressure issue. Ever. Never taken a blood pressure pill in my life. Ever. I don't have one ailment. Nothing. a few broken bones, which I discovered. But even at that, you know, I wasn't even aware of that. I had to have an X-ray to find that out. But so I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm not saying that I won't ever have any issues. But what I'm telling you is, you have the right to question what's being done to your body. Okay? Blood thinners, I said it on previous video. Blood thinners are warfarin and stuff like that, have the same chemical combination of decon rat poisoning. And my thing is this: if something is going to kill a rat, it can also kill a person. And I'm a firm believer that a lot of the neurological issues that we see in people who use blood thinners like warfarin over a period of time, because the research, the naturopaths have been doing their due diligence, and they're warning people that you use those kinds of things over a long period of time, you will see some sort of toxicity reaction in the form of some sort of neurological problem, be it Parkinson's, be it forgetfulness, dementia, forgetfulness, or whatever, because you can't have a toxic load like that in your system over an extended period of time and not have some sort of effect. It's toxic. It killed a rat. It's poison. Okay, Lord. Okay, so let's check off blood thinner. All right, and I'm gonna tell you what you can do on the natural side. Beta blocker. I'm not gonna tell you, if you're taking a beta blocker, you cannot just stop taking it. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you to stop taking. You cannot just stop taking a beta blocker, because when you're taking a beta blocker and you've been taking it, when your physician first puts you on it, the messages that were sent to your brain, to your heart, were like, more blood, more blood. And as the beta blocker was applied, it would block the message. It would be more blood, no message to the heart. The heart's just pumping along like nothing has been said. There's no problem in the body. Everybody's servicing. Everybody's doing just well. All toes, everything. Fingers, everything. Then the brain gets agitated and it sends even stronger message. And sometimes it get past the blocker. And so that's when they increase your medication. They put you on a stronger medication. And so the brain is like, I said, pump, pump, pump. And so what happens is, when you're taking beta blockers, and every day the brain is trying to send this message, because the brain is getting the message from the feet or the arms or wherever the message is coming from. Hey, I need blood here. The message is getting to the brain. The brain is trying all it can to send a message to the heart, but the blocker is there. So one day, if you should decide, I'm not going to take this beta blocker, and you stop taking it, and the blocker is not there, the brain is sending such strong messages that when the message does get through to the heart, it's sending a message like blah 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 blah. And so the heart goes crazy, and that's why one of the side effects, or one of the possible indications with beta blockers, is heart attack or stroke. Because if you forget to take it, or you run out of it, or something like that, and you've had a serious problem that's been sent to your brain for a long period of time, and your brain's been sending strong messages, and that beta blocker's out of the way, your heart goes crazy trying to pump blood, and then blood is like ripping all through your body. And if you tear some of that plaque or cholesterol loose because you got this high rate of blood flow going through the body, what you could end up doing is blowing out a vessel, tearing off some of that stuff, and it getting stuck somewhere. If it's getting stuck in a vessel that's going back to the heart, you're going to have a heart attack. If it's going to get stuck in a vessel that's going to your brain, you can have a stroke. if it gets stuck in a vessel going down to your legs, you could have a permanent clog, or a clog or blood clot that actually causes you serious problems where you may end up with an amputation or something like that. So that's what I'm saying. If you're on a beta blocker, you have to do the necessary things to improve your circulation before you can actually remove yourself from a beta blocker. In fact, you should be doing what you need to do on the natural side and let your doctor tell you you don't need a beta blocker. Okay? Statin drugs, I have nothing to say. Statin drugs are dangerous. They've already had several lawsuits for various ones, and if you take a statin drug, to me, you're taking your life into your own hands. You actually, literally, I don't want to say playing Russian roulette. You really are. Because a statin drug, if it tears the right vessel open, you could literally bleed to death like somebody shot you. And so I don't have anything good to say about a statin drug. I don't have anything good to say about any of these things. Blood thinners, beta blockers, or statin drugs. But I know that you can survive for a while with a blood thinner. You can survive for a while with a beta blocker. But if a statin drug, you could die immediately taking a statin drug. I know they're trying to say they're making them safer and this kind of thing now, but I just don't know if I'd take that chance if I were you. But I'm not your doctor. I'm not you, and it's your body. You have to make a decision. I'm just a messenger. Okay, so let's talk about on the holistic side, or the natural side, what you can do. I'm gonna just call up my little list, and because I'm trying not to be too long with this video, but natural blood thinners. Water is the #1 natural blood thinner. I'm trying to get everybody to drink alkaline water for how long now? Okay, get your Zuma. If you can't get Zuma, get to some place or go to Walmart and buy your Essentia or whatever water is alkaline. I still use my Zuma sachets, okay? X2O. Oh, Lord. Thought I had a pack here. Yeah. Anyway, if you've been watching my videos, you know what I'm talking about. So. Anyway, this is my Zuma bottle from Zuma Worldwide. XOOMA. See that? ZumaWorldwide.com. And I'll put a link on here for how you can get this. All you do is drop. Zuma will send you ask them for it, they'll send you a nice little green bottle. You fill it with regular water. Well, you know how I feel about regular water, because I got a pure water filter on my tap. But I run my water through my pure water filter into my bottle. I drop my little sachet in there. I hope you can see that. A little bag in there. That little bag is full of minerals. I put the top on. I shake it up. It raises the pH of my water to 9.9. Okay? And water that alkaline can bust up a blood clot. It can do all kinds of stuff in your body. So, water is your #1 defense. If you got thick blood or you got problems with your blood being clotty and that kind of thing, that's your #1 defense. But too many of us have thick blood and we're sucking down sodas. Sodas are going to make your blood thick. Energy drinks going to make your blood thick. Sweet tea is going to make your blood thick. Coffee and tea is going to make your blood thick. That doesn't mean you can't drink a cup of coffee, but you got to make sure that you drink your water. But you ain't got no business, if you got high blood pressure, drinking a soda anytime. I know that's bad English, but that's good emphasis. A soda is going to kill you if you have high blood pressure. You know, it has a pH. A regular soda has a pH of about 2.0 to the 2.5. A diet soda is even worse. It has a pH of 1.5. That means that these sodas are almost 100,000 times more acidic than your blood. Your blood has to stay at 7.365 for you to have optimal health. And when you're drinking something that has a pH of 1.5 to 2.0 to 2.5, you're literally drinking death. Because what's going to happen is your red blood cells are going to clot up. And if you don't do something in addition to what your body's going to do something. Your body's going to take minerals from all parts of your body to try to neutralize that acid in your blood. It's going to take it from your teeth, your bones. All of y'all running around here talking about my joints hurt and blah, blah, blah. If you sucking down sodas, you're going to have some hurting joints. You're going to have worse than that because you mess around and take a fall and you don't have proper minerals in your bones, you're going to break a bone. And the older we get, when we have a fall or we have a bone break, it takes longer to heal. And so, but really, that's only because most elderly people are mineral deficient. So if you want to strengthen your bones in your old age, get on your vitamins and minerals. Or put some minerals in your water with the sachets. There's lots of ways you can get minerals into your body. You know, we already talked about the pink Himalayan salt. You could get yourself a good vitamin, natural vitamin and mineral from your health food store. The Zuma has the X2O for the water, which puts minerals. There are lots of different ways, but you have to keep minerals in your body in order for your blood to stay a normal consistency in your vessels, where it won't be thick and clotting up. Next thing, pink Himalayan salt. I already talked about that. Pink Himalayan salt is loaded with 84 to 86 minerals. And, excuse me, those minerals will help break up any clots that are forming in your blood. On the natural side, as far as the supplements are concerned, garlic, they have lots of nice odorless garlics that you can take now. That is a natural blood thinner. On the food side, leeks and onions and using garlic in your food, all of that helps because the chemical that's in the garlic, the onions, and the leeks is called allicin. And allicin, you ever seen that Dawn dishwashing liquid commercial? It says Dawn breaks up grease, takes it out of your way. Well, that's what allicin does to cholesterol and fat and lipids that are in the blood. It breaks them down, gets them out of the way. And so, and dumps it on into the liver, which we're going to talk about that next. Because see, on a natural side, if you're trying to reduce high blood pressure naturally, the first thing that you have to do is to start breaking down what's clogging up the artery. Okay, so we do that with water. We do that with the right kind of salt. We do that with our vitamins and minerals, and we also do that with our supplements like garlic, and then with the things that we eat. Incorporating garlic, leeks, and onions and that kind of thing, things that have allicin in them in our diet. That's why people in the Mediterranean, because they eat a lot of garlic and a lot of onions, they don't have a lot of high blood pressure because that allicin will always kind of keep the blood the consistency that it needs to be. So, all right, I hope you're good on blood thinners. Okay, that's natural blood thinners. Once the cholesterol is broken down in the artery, it's going to send it to the liver. And we already had several videos already on liver cleansing, so I'm not going to be redundant and repeat all of that. But all that you need to know about keeping your liver clean is that you have to take your bitters. These are herbs that they're called bitters because if you actually tasted them, they are bitter. And the fact that they are bitter in your mouth stimulates the liver to produce bile. Okay? Anytime you taste something bitter in your mouth, like when you're eating a pecan, it has that little brown in the back of the pecan. If you ever get any of that in your mouth, we're like, ugh, that's so nasty. But your body responds to it in a positive way because it actually stimulates your liver to produce bile. But I'm just going to tell you about a couple of, these are some of the, I mean, I have, God knows, y'all know I have all kinds of stuff. But this is burdock. This is a tincture, okay? And this is golden seal, all right? And, you know, I have others. This is milk thistle, okay? But these are all liver cleansing herbs. And then, of course, I told you about the super liver cleanse that's, you know, made by the same Health Plus. So my thing, I'm not going to tell you what liver cleanse to use. Just go to your health food store and say, look, I need a liver cleanser. And there's a whole section of them. Just pick one. Okay, so, but just to tell you some names, burdock root, dandelion root, golden seal, yellow dock, the milk thistle, like I said, all of those are nice liver cleansers. I don't use the same stuff over and over again. Sometimes I'll rotate around different kinds of herbs because my thing is I'm getting older, my body is changing, and so I'm trying to, as I move through this life, make sure that I'm getting the best result from the products that I'm using. And I know my body well enough to know what I can take and how I'm expecting the product to act. And I can tell when it's too weak. I can tell when, hey, that's a little strong, you know, because I've been doing this for a long time. But, you know, and some of you, you know, you've been using herbs for a while, so you know to kind of gauge what your body needs based on your personal chemistry. So anyway, so we talked about the natural blood thinners, the water, the Himalayan salt, garlic, leeks, onions because of the allicin. We talked about the liver cleansers, which is your bitters, your burdock root, your dandelion root, your golden seal, okay? And there are others. Like I said, just go to the health food store. They'll show you. Then the colon. Once the cholesterol is sent to the liver, the liver is then going to mix it with bile, hold it in solution until it's time to be excreted into the small intestine. Okay? But from the small intestines, you know where it's going from there. It's going to the large intestine, then to the rectum, and then to the toilet. But what happens if you're constipated? Well, then that cholesterol backs back up into the liver, which backs it back up into the blood, and you still have high blood pressure and still have high cholesterol. So, excuse me, that's where the colon cleansers come in. And I've already talked to you a ton on colon cleansing. So if you have not seen any of my colon cleansing videos, go back and look at them. I'll get some of your friends to send them to you. But this is my number one for colon cleansing. It is now in a new container. So if you go to the store, it's not going to look like this. But this is from Health Plus. It's called Super Colon Cleanse. Okay? And I use the powder form. Some people use the capsules. And I'm not going to tell you what to use. But I use the powder form because that's what works best for Poe. If you can use the capsule forms and not get bound up, great. But to me, the capsules require so much water for you to drink to get that stuff broken out of the capsule, get it wet enough for it to swell in your colon, and that kind of thing. And so I don't want to run the risk of you using a super colon cleanser that has psyllium in it and then becoming even more constipated because the psyllium wasn't wet enough. You have to drink a lot of water when you're using these psyllium-based colon cleansers. Even if you're using Metamucil, stuff like that, you got to make sure you drink enough water with those things or they'll bind you up even worse than you were before. Another thing that you can use if you don't want to use that is you can use Senna. This one is Nature Sunshine. It's called Senna Combination. It's one of my husband's favorites. I used to use this one, but, you know, I just feel that the super colon cleanser works best for me. He kind of alternates. He'll use this sometimes. Sometimes he uses super colon cleanser. You have to find what works for you. Some of you, your doctors have given you stool softeners and all that kind of thing. If it's working for you, use it. But I just warn you against using chemicals in your colon because um, you are a natural being, and you need to use what Mother Nature put in nature for that purpose. Um, we really shouldn't have to use anything to help us use the bathroom if we were eating right, but we don't eat right. Okay, we're just gonna be straight. So because we do mess up and eat all kind of crazy stuff, all kind of processed foods, whatever, um, sometimes we need a little help. But if your colon is working right, don't worry about it. If you're using the bathroom on a regular basis, you don't feel bloated, you don't feel constipated. Hey, God bless you. God bless you. You may not need this part of it, but I'm talking about for people who are. So if you're going to treat your high blood pressure naturally, let's recap. You need to thin your blood with water, pink Himalayan salt, your vitamins and minerals, and use some supplements such as um, garlic. You can use capsules or use a natural garlic. Also, and there's a product called Kyolic 106 garlic, and Kyolic 106 has garlic, hawthorn berry, vitamin E, and capsicum, which is red pepper, cayenne pepper. And that's a really good product because it has the garlic, which breaks down the cholesterol, but it also has a hawthorn berry, which strengthens the heart muscles and the walls of the artery. And then it has vitamin E, which is also good for the heart and for the artery walls. And then it has the capsicum or the cayenne pepper, which improves your circulation, which makes your heart beat not faster, but deeper. So that when the heart is pumping, it pumps deeper. And so, it actually rushes the blood over your body. And that's why when you eat cayenne pepper, you feel warm all over because it improves your circulation. So if you have someone in your family who is suffering with poor circulation, cayenne pepper would be an excellent addition to their diet. It may just shaking a little bit on their food, or if you use loose. I mean, I cook cayenne pepper, so I cook with a lot of peppers, and so cayenne pepper is an excellent supplement for improving circulation. But that Kyolic 106 is a supplement. I don't have a bottle of it here. I will show it to you. But it's Kyolic, Kyolic 106. And they have different ones. They have a 104 um, uh, but they do different things. Some of them have probiotics in them, and some of them have um, where I can't remember, but the 106 is the one I normally use. So anyway, so we got to thin the blood. I already told you how to do that. You got to keep that liver clean because what we're eating, how we're living our lives, being sluggish, being lazy, that kind of thing. Sometimes, and some of us, we've been sick. You can't get around if you don't feel. If you don't feel good, or if you're disabled and you can't get around and move your body like you need to, you may end up with a sluggish colon. Excuse me, colon too, but a sluggish liver, and you did nothing wrong. It's just a condition. So taking something to make sure that your liver stays clean is good for anybody, but particularly if you've been sick. Then the colon cleansing to make sure that once that cholesterol is in solution sent to the liver, that it goes on out to the toilet. Okay, so I have talked your ear off for about 42 minutes. I want to talk one more minute about constipation, because one thing that I've been noticing a lot is that we have been dealing with a lot of people who had heart attacks or strokes trying to use the bathroom. Please do not play with constipation if you have high blood pressure. Constipation in a person with high blood pressure is a recipe for disaster. If you are straining and trying to use the bathroom and that kind of thing, and you have taken a colon cleanser and it's not working, you have to go to plan B and plan C and or plan C. Plan B is you must, without hesitation, no shame in your game, get yourself to a CVS, a Walgreens, or some local drugstore and buy yourself an enema bag. You got to do that if you are constipated, period, but particularly if you have high blood pressure, because you could mess right around and have a heart attack trying to use the bathroom. Okay? It has happened. And I don't want that for you. You shouldn't want that for you. And you can't let embarrassment, I mean, nobody knows what you do in your home. Now I'm putting my business all out there for y'all, but the thing is, that's because I love you. But the thing is, you got to make sure that you can clean yourself out. There's a reason why Grandma and them had that enema bag in the house. Because when your bowels are blocked, you are sick. Okay? And I'm not just talking about smelly sick, like your breath bad and this kind of thing, or you got a headache and all that. No, you can mess around and give yourself a heart attack or a stroke because you're sitting there straining and trying to use the bathroom, and your blood pressure shoots up. So, get an enema bag. Learn how to use it. Don't be embarrassed about it. Matter of fact, you should be promoting it in your family, because a lot of these people these young people, their diets are horrible, and they are suffering. I had students I taught who had blocked bowels. These kids were 17, 18 years old. Okay? And stop taking these kids. I'm not going to fuss. I'm not going to fuss tonight. But you cannot continuously feed children junk and not expect them to be constipated. Okay? I'm going to just leave it at that. Pizza every other day is not nutritious. And pizza every other day is going to bind your child up. Okay? So, do yourself a favor. Do your children a favor. Teach them how to eat salads. Teach them how to eat vegetables, and teach them how to eat whole grains and things that are going to be able to brush waste out of their bodies. And, start them early so they won't even have to deal with this, because we really shouldn't have to take any kind of supplements to get our bowels to move. But when you eat all kinds of junk and you're whole, you're on the job, won't go to the bathroom, all this kind of crazy scenarios, that's how you end up with colon trouble. Okay? And if you have taken colon cleansers, if you have gone out and you purchased yourself a real enema bag, I'm not talking about some Fleet enema, I'm talking about an enema bag, and you still having problems, that means there is something seriously wrong in your colon, and you need to get to a colon hydrotherapist ASAP. Find one in your area. My therapist is Becky Mesker in Quimby, South Carolina. She'll be happy to talk to you. But that's Medsker, Becky, Bekki. Dr. Becky Mesker. She's a doctor. She's a naturopathic doctor. And she's a certified colon hydrotherapist. Matter of fact, she teaches colon hydrotherapy at a college. And she is excellent. I've sent many people to her, and she's given many people relief. Members of my family, personal friends, colleagues. And so, it's worth the $70, $80 for you to get that blockage out, as opposed to letting it build up and then you end up in a hospital and somebody end up trying to cut out a part of your colon or give you some crazy stuff that makes you sick as a dog. Get the thing, get yourself to a colon hydrotherapist so you can get whatever that thing is moving out of your system naturally, as opposed to someone putting some poison in you to try to move it or cutting you to try to move it. Okay? All right. So, there we have it. This was the video on high blood pressure. Woo! I know that was a lot, right? Okay. I'll take your questions if you have any. But I pray I answered all of them. So, and there's more I could say, but I think I've said enough. And I'm just going to pray that everything will go well with you. As I said previously, if you are on medication, be very, very careful about discontinuing medication unless you are committed to pursuing a natural lifestyle where when you do come off of those medications, that things in your body will be regulated. You've got to be committed. If you just, you're going to just take a few capsules of garlic and then eat your fat back and take your vinegar when you eat your pork chops. I mean that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. You got to get off of it. I feel sorry for those poor little hogs that died in the flood in North Carolina, but you know what? I'm not gonna say anything else. I think it was prophetic. Anyway, you have a beautiful day and take care of your beautiful selves. And I'm going to probably not do these other two videos just tonight because I'm a little tired. Been out all day. But I'm going to definitely get them up. So I'll be talking about cancer prevention because cancer treatment, that's a whole different ball of wax. But we're going to be talking about trying to make sure you don't get that start with. And we're going to talk about how it functions. And then, of course, I'll put up the hair growth information in a video as well. I love you in the Lord. You take care of yourselves and share this information with someone you love. God bless you and have a glorious, glorious evening.